Hello, my name is Viviana, and today I'm going to talk about second language acquisition and motivation. First, I feel very encouraged to say that I revised many theories on what is the most successful option when choosing to learn a second language, and I think it's motivation. I can also relate it to my own experience as I speak English as a second language, and I started my journey 22 years ago motivated by music. In this presentation, I'm going to refer to two of the biggest researchers in time, that is Gardner and Dorney. Firstly, we can say that historically, motivation research in second language acquisition is associated with Gardner's social psychological approach in integrative and instrumental motivation dichotomy at the end of the 60s. That stayed in the field or dominated for a while. Okay, we are going to see that later. And mainly, okay, what is exactly motivation is something that we can actually find in everything we do. For example, eating, drinking, and sleeping. But in this case, we get this motivation biologically, okay, from nature. We don't have to do anything to have this motivation. And the second one is another type that we need to find. For example, when we cook, when we meditate, when we learn a second or third language, okay? And this is unfortunately not given. We need to find it ourselves, and each one of us find it in a different way as we are individuals and we learn individually. Okay, the knowledge in second language acquisition. There are two types of main knowledge. Number one is students' own motivation, okay, that defined by Gardner is composed by three main elements: effort, desire, and affect, okay? Whereas the strategic knowledge, which is the second one, refers to the information about some strategies that are likely to be more effective in achieving the learning goal. Okay, and this is very important. Now we are going to see what are the types of motivation actually. So Garner and Dornis have divided the motivation into two basic types. The integrative, that their characteristics are that the learner is very positive. Okay, he has or she has very positive attitudes toward the target language and the desire to belong to this community. Okay, and the number two, we call it instrumental motivation, that underlines mainly the goal that to gain some social or economic reward through the achievement of learning the second language. All right, but there are another two types, okay, that I'm going to mention. And the first one is intrinsic. The intrinsic motivation, what is it? Is when this motivation comes with no apparent reward except the activity itself. We can relate it to the integrative. And the number two, extrinsic, from outside, okay? It refers to the activity when we are expecting something. For example, prizes, grades, and money, okay? We can relate it to the instrumental one because we also see learning a second language as an instrument. Now, I'm going to show you two studies. The first one was conducted by Maria Luisa and Eva Mestre, okay, in regards to the strategic knowledge. In this case, they have divided 40 students into two groups. Group A is the first maybe group of students that actually enrolled in an optional technical English class. In the group B, they just enrolled to improve their English, learning general concepts. Okay, in the first one, group A, the teacher actually used a handbook to teach the students, and the teacher told them that they could only perform the tasks in one way. And at the end of the handbook, the students had to answer some close-ended questions that refers to yes, no, true or false. Okay, whereas in the group B, the teacher just taught them grammatical and cultural contents. Okay, but the difference is that, or the main difference, that the teachers presented different materials. They gave them individual plans and helped them to plan their own learning. They were more empathic towards the students. And actually, they told them that they could adapt their learning according to their knowledge and capability to the second language. And which ones were the results? Okay, we can see here that the group B here, in regards to the integrative motivation, was actually more motivated. The numbers 85%. They maybe also said that the teacher was better or more maybe successful in teaching them the language in comparison with group B, 45%, and so on. We can see here the numbers, and finally enrollment in similar class. Even for the future, group B is more willing to enroll in similar classes, 90% in comparison with group A. Okay, and why this happened? Because they felt more free. Okay, these are the results, the conclusions. They felt motivated and confident. And in group B, about the instrumental motivation, actually the group A was or had higher score because they actually saw learning English just as an instrument. For example, relevance of English, 70%. English in profession, 90% in comparison with the 30% of group B. Okay, so they just saw English for the future as an instrument. And finally, okay, we can conclude that yes, the group B was motivated, more motivated because the teacher allowed them or helped them to do so. Okay, but what happens if you input this motivation somehow to your students? Dorney said that they are more willing to accomplish long-term goals. They are not going to stop there, all right? So the role of the teacher is pretty crucial in this case. Okay, the second study refers to young foreign language learners, and it was carried in Slovenia by Moje and Carmen. In this case, they just ask some questions to some primary school students. Okay, actually, their teachers, the primary school teachers ask the questions to their kids, okay, after some time of observing them, okay. And finally, these kids show more emotional and cognitive interests in foreign language learning, and we are going to see why. Okay, the first question. The students' perception in how much they like English. They were just focusing on English, okay, this subject. And most of the kids, 79% like it very much. This was pretty impressive. And just 2% they didn't like. Okay, the question number 2, how interesting do you find English? 77% said it's interesting, actually. And the number 3, this is also amazing because kids, none of them said that English was easy, even though they found it useful, they liked it, okay, and they thought they needed to learn English. Okay, and this is the most interesting question. When do you like English? Okay, maybe the kids said, 47% of them, because they feel well. They have this feeling of relaxation. When they play, when they sing, they dance, when they read or write, maybe they read stories, and when they talk to their own friends. So this is amazing that the kids can relate English with their daily lives. It's like play for them. Okay, so the conclusions were that the kids are actually naturally motivated intrinsically rather than extrinsically. Okay, these two researchers found that. And actually, they like to learn languages. They feel relaxed and they just see it as another subject, like not work. Okay, on the other hand, there is a very famous anthropologist called Maria Montessori, and some other researchers have looked at their work as Angeline Lillard. Okay, and in her study also she said that the kids actually learn by playing and trying to do new things, okay, because for them memorizing is work, so maybe that's why the results were very successful in this second research. All right, so it doesn't matter where they come from or in which country they are the research, but it matters if they are kids or adults because we learn in a different way. And of course, the motivation is very important because it will give us long-term goals. Thank you so much for your attention and have a good day.